Hello, welcome to Nina's Knots Crochet. I'm Lynanne. If you're new here, hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. My channel? Well, it's all about crochet, a little bit about knitting, a lot about yarn. Mostly, it's about my journey through this fantastic yarning community. Returning subscribers, hey, thanks so much for coming back, spending a little bit of your Thursday with me. This is a special edition. This is the Boggy Creek edition. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Boggy Creek, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background and a little bit of what it is that I'm a part of. And I'm just a small part of it. Nancy, She's Got Yarn Too. Her mom belongs to a women's club. And they asked Nancy to help out collecting some blankets for their service project. And it was to give blankets to Camp Boggy Creek. Well, Nancy did a little more research, talked to her really good friend Lynette at Charm Grammy Crochet, and Billy, the Crafty Floridian, and together they figured, hey, we're going to open this up to the YouTube streets because there's a huge, wonderful community out there that would love to get on board to help this out. Needless to say, you all have come through amazingly. Last year we collected, I forgot the number, but it was a lot, 1,092 or something like that. It was a lot of blankets, a lot. I mean, Nancy had to rent a U-Haul. That's how many blankets we delivered in February. Our goal for this year is 2025 for 2025. And Camp Boggy Creek, let me give you a little bit of a background on it. It is a camp for kids with chronic and severe illnesses. They serve 16 different diagnoses. I don't remember them all. The few that pop in my head that I remember are sickle cell anemia, and there goes the jets, and epilepsy. Things where kids can't be left unsupervised by somebody with a medical background. So the Camp Boggy Creek, which was started by Paul Newman and General Norman Schwarzkopf and a bunch of other investors, they put this camp together for kids who needed a place to go where they can go be a kid instead of being a kid with an illness. They get to swim and hike and have talent shows, and they're in cabins, and it's just a place where you think of a kid going to summer camp. This is what they get to do. Although there is medical personnel on site all the time. They have their own little mini hospital there. The volunteers are doctors and nurses who are specialized in the whatever illness is that week. Like all the kids who have epilepsy come the same week. So you're not singled out as a kid with epilepsy because everybody there has epilepsy. You just get to go and be a kid. It's a fantastic organization. In my description box, there are several videos linked where you can see the camp dropping off blankets. There's even a video from Boggy Creek. So go ahead into my description box and check out all these videos. The reason I'm coming on to talk about Boggy Creek specifically just in this video is because I've had a lot of emails and some comments in my videos lately. What is Boggy Creek? What are the requirements? How can I participate? Well, here's how you can participate. What they are looking for, and in order for the blanket to be sent home with a child, it must meet this requirement. It needs to be 35 to 40 inches wide, 40 to 50 inches long. It should be made with something that's washable. These are kids, so it needs to be washable. They put these on their beds along with a little stuffed bear, and there's a pattern on their website if you can sew and make bears. Not my forte, not happening. Billy, the Crafty Floridian, I think she's made at least one bear that I'm aware of. Anyway, the kids get to take these blankets home as a memento of their time at camp. So they have to fit those parameters in order to be put on the kids' beds. Now, if your blanket is outside of those parameters, they'll use them. They'll use them in the condos for the doctors and the nurses. Some of them they'll even use for decorations. I've seen they hang them, around in the buildings if they're really cute, if they don't fit the parameters. So no blanket will go to waste, but if you want your blanket to go home with a kid, it needs to be that size. You can make whatever you want. A 40 by 40 square is perfect. So if you want to do like a continuous granny square till it's 40 by 40, that works. Jax from Creations by Jax, she's got at least 2 blankets that I'm aware of for Boggy Creek. One was the Luck of the Draw that they did last year, and then like a Luck of the Draw Boggy Creek edition, and then she's doing one currently now as a crochet along. So go check out her channel if you need some inspiration on how to do a blanket specifically for Boggy Creek. But you know what? Let's read the room, people. Let's remember, we're making this for kids. It's all well to use colors that are in your comfort zone, but these are kids that are going away to camp, and it's a fun experience. And they when they put these on the beds, they said they gravitate to the brightest colors. So go for your brightest, sparkly colors that you've got in your stash. The kids, this is a memento for them. So when you're making your blankets, think of your audience. Think about who's going to be receiving these blankets, and they're kids. The kids range in age from 7 to 16. So think of that when you're putting these blankets together. What would a 6-year-old in your life or a 7-year-old in your life like as far as colors are concerned? I'm also going to talk about my square drive. Last year, I put out there on the YouTube street, I wanted to help out, and I thought, you know what? The cost of shipping a blanket is kind of expensive. And I know that there are people out there who can't afford to ship a $30 box to Nancy. So I said, well, why don't you send me a couple of squares? And then I'll put them together, and I live next to Nancy. I can drive them to her. Well, that kind of blew up, and people were sending me boxes of hundreds of squares. I have thousands of squares left over. Even though I'm still getting through one blanket a week, I have thousands of squares. So I said, okay, we're gonna put a halt to this. If you have the money to send a box of 100 squares, you can put them in a blanket and mail them to Nancy. I know a lot of people don't like putting squares together. I get it. I personally enjoy it. But my thought was so that people who could only send 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, it would help keep the costs down. I've already started receiving squares for this year. Guys, I'm not taking them yet. I got 2 boxes in. One was a box of 60 squares. I'm thinking to myself, thank you very much for sending the squares. I appreciate that you want to be a part of it, but it would have been easier if you had just put the blanket together and sent it to Nancy in August. I'm not mad. I will be glad to put these squares together. But I want to reiterate, I am looking for squares that are special. I have hundreds of regular granny squares. Hundreds of these that are 5 by 5 in different colors. Hundreds and hundreds of these. What I'm looking for are the ones that are special, that have the baubles or the hearts or the characters. And I couldn't dig any more out. I've had to resort them because I've found a new way of putting them together thanks to Juan the Yarn Addict. And so yeah, I've really messed up my squares. But my point is, find me your brightest colors. They don't have to be the neon colors. You know, yellow is a bright color. This one's got a little bit of sparkle in the middle. I don't know if you can catch that. There you go. You can see that it's got a little bit of sparkle in it. I'm not asking you to go out and buy special yarn, but think of what a child would like. Then I'll put them together the best I can. I've had squares that have hearts on them, that have had fruit or flowers or circles that are made into squares. Anything that's, you know, out of the norm. I'm going to put together a playlist. I'm hoping to get it done this weekend of tutorials for different styles of granny squares, something to give you an idea. Watch my Facebook page and my community tab. As soon as I have that playlist put together, I'll let you know. It'll give you a starting spot. But I'm also going to tell you, I'm accepting 20 per person. Any more than that, if you send more, I mean, it takes, on the 5x5, it takes 49 squares, 7 rows of 7 squares. So if you're sending me more than 20, you can put the blanket together yourself and send it to Nancy in August. I think she's starting in August. We have to talk, Nancy and I and Lynette and Billy, and figure out when we're going to start doing all this again. But I think it's in August. So please, I want everybody to participate. So please, if you have any questions about what kind of squares I'm looking for, how many squares I'm looking for, send me an email or leave me a message in the comments and I'll get back to you. But I'm asking in the nicest way I know how. Please do not go through all the granny squares you have and just send them to me because you don't know what else to do with them. Because I have too many here now. My daughter and her family are coming to stay for a week or so in June. And right now I have nowhere for them to sleep because the spare bedroom where I have my yarn, the bed is covered in boxes and baskets of squares. And I don't have anywhere for them to go. So if you have any questions about the squares you want to send, please send me an email and let's talk. I can't take any more right now, you guys. Today, do not send me any. Come September, August, September, we'll talk about getting them sent in. If you're working on them now, if you have more than 20, put them in a blanket. I get it that a lot of people don't want to sew them together. It's a pain. But I'm telling you, the tutorial from Juan on how to put them together, it's fast, it's easy, and it's cute. Let me show you. This is the Boggy blanket that I made this week. And it's adorable. It's a cute way to put them together. It's fast, it's easy. You use less than an entire skein of yarn. I used the Big Twist Inclusivity was the colorway of the yarn that I used. And I used like a little over half to put this blanket together. And they're 5x5 squares that I put together in 7 rows of 7. Let me see, where's the heart? Here it is. We have a heart on every blanket. And there's this blanket's heart. And they go together really fast, really easy. And when all your squares are the same, you should be able to put this together in no time. It takes me about 2.5 hours to put one of these together. And I don't even sit all the time. I'm up and down and doing things and shooing cats off the table and, you know, doing all the things that you do. But if within 2.5 hours, I can have one of these done. So I will link the tutorial for Juan's join method in my description box. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out and ask me. If you have any other questions regarding Boggy Creek, you can, if you don't want to email me, you can email Nancy at She's Got Yarn Too, or Lynette at Charm Grammy. They have as much information or more than I do. So I hope I didn't offend anybody with this video. I hope that everybody understands where I'm coming from. But right now, I cannot accept any more squares other than the 20 specialty ones that I'm asking for come August. So with that, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep in mind, we do want your blankets. Put together a great Boggy blanket for a kid to give them a fantastic memory of their time at camp. But remember to be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. Above all, be kind to everyone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.